Hi everyone, it's Linnea from Miss Ink Stamps, and today I'm going to be bringing you a card using a few stencils from Miss Ink Stamps, as well as just stamping a sentiment. So really the focus of this card is on the stencils. I'm going to do some ink blending, but there is no coloring at all on this card. So if you need a quick birthday card in a pinch, this is a great design for you. And you can also switch up your sentiment and have this be an all occasion card. Alright, so let's get started here. I'm starting with the floral stained glass stencil, and I'm going to position this over an A2 card front. I have my card front positioned in a landscape style, and my idea is to have this floral stained glass pattern across the bottom, and then use the Scene Builder stencil from Miss Ink Stamps to just have that little sun ray repeated across the top. So I'm positioning that temporarily, just kind of eyeballing where I need to put my tape, because I'm going to do some masking so that this floral stained glass stencil design is only on the bottom of my card. Now I'm going to go in and start ink blending. I didn't use any form of temporary adhesive on the back of my stencil. I chose to just use some purple tape. So I'm going in lightly at first and then building up my color. I have a tendency to use a heavy hand when I'm ink blending, so when I don't use pixie spray, I like to start light with my ink blending and then build up the color so that my stencil doesn't shift. I'm using two colors of Distress Oxide inks. I have Fossilized Amber and Squeezed Lemonade, and that's going to give me a gradient color, so it's a darker yellow towards the top where I have it masked off, and then a lighter yellow towards the bottom. So now my ink blending with the floral stained glass stencil is all done, and I'm going back to that Scene Builder stencil. And I'm going to use some purple tape once again to mask off around this little sun ray. I thought this would be a cute little design element to have going across the top of my card. I'm starting with the center of my card, and so I've positioned that sun ray right in the center of my card, and I'm once again going to go in with two colors of Distress Oxide ink. I'm using Picked Raspberry and Worn Lipstick, and I'm going to create that gradient color effect once again. So starting with the darker pink color towards the center of the sun ray, and then using the lighter color to blend out towards the outer edges. I thought I would go super light, but in the end I decided to stick with this Worn Lipstick color. I really like the way these two pinks blend together. So once I'm all done with my ink blending for this first sun ray that's right in the middle of my card, I'll just peel up my stencil, and then I can shift my stencil to the left and to the right and kind of do a half a sun ray on each side there. I wanted to add a little bit of glitter, but because these inks are water reactive, I didn't want to use a shimmer pen, so instead I'm going to be using some Glitz Glitter Gel. I only wanted a little bit of shimmer. I didn't want to have a fully textured background, so I'm going to use my iridescent Glitz Glitter Gel and just take some out with a palette knife and just put a little bit on my work surface, and then I'll use my finger instead of using a palette knife to just lightly kind of smush a little bit of that iridescent Glitz Glitter Gel over my stencil so that just the sun rays have that glitter pattern there. And because I'm using my finger and just using a little bit of the Glitz Glitter Gel, it's going to give just a subtle shimmer effect instead of having a fully dimensional glitter paste on top. I really love doing this for when you just want a little bit of glitter. And because you're just putting a tiny little bit on, this dries in minutes. This will probably dry in 3 minutes tops. So I'm just going to go ahead and do all three of those sun rays, and that's going to give me just that little bit of shine and texture that I'm looking for. I wanted to have a defining line separating these two stenciled patterns, so I cut a strip of black cardstock that's about 1/4 of an inch wide, and then I'll use my liquid adhesive and just adhere that down right where those two stencil patterns meet. I think it's good to have a defining line that kind of breaks up the patterns and just gives your eye a little bit of a break there. I'll use my T-square ruler to make sure that that is straight, and I actually did a pretty good job getting it straight the first time, but just to be sure I'll use that ruler and just butt that up right against the edge there. I'm using the Streamers stamp set from Miss Ink Stamps, and I'm just going to stamp this simple Celebrate sentiment. I love the script and how it's a little bit of a chunkier sentiment. So I'll use just black ink and stamp that over to the right side of my card, and this simple and easy birthday card is complete. I hope that you've learned some stencil techniques that you'll use in your craft room. You can check out the video description below for links to the Miss Ink Stamps products that I've used. And thank you so much for watching. I'll see you soon. Bye! Thank you again very much for watching this video. If you liked this video and you'd like to see more from me, please hit that subscribe button that is on the screen now. And here are a few other videos that I thought you might enjoy.